Hello, great people. Former presidential media aide Reno Omokri has declared that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will rule Nigeria till 2031. Reno stated the reason why, and in a moment, I'll leave you to hear from Reno yourself. And I want to read about what you think about Reno's submission in the comments section. Reno stated the reason why he thinks that Tinubu will win in 2031, and in doing so, he revealed some secret, some shocking secret and strategy of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We will hear from Reno. Then when we come back from that, we will be discussing what is the implication of Reno's statement. What is Reno trying to achieve? The whole video, what is that video itself? What is Reno trying to do? You can rely on me as your favorite political scientist to dissect everything for you, and also the politics of 2027, the dynamics that will shape the election, and at the end of the day, what this can bring for Reno Omokri and Reno's stake in this whole issue of the presidential politics in Nigeria. We'll be doing that and a whole lot more on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omoshola. First, let's hear from Reno Omokri. Then we come back for the discussion as highlighted. Let's hear from Reno. Let's hear.
I am convinced that the president of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is going to be re-elected in 2027. I'm so sure of it. For God to spare his life, and that's what we pray. As long as God spares his life, he's going to be re-elected because he is an expert in that. He knows how to turn former enemies into friends, and he knows how to work with them because the issue that he has with them and that they have with him are not existential issues that they are going to depend or determine the fate of this world and then your fate in the afterworld. No, they are just issues. I want to be president, and there's only one president at the time. You want to be president, you didn't get it, I got it. Okay, so now I've gotten it. Now, you cannot be president for the next 4 years. Let's work together. He has that ability to do that. And not just with people who ran, against him, with people who were against him, So that ability, and very few people, very few leaders had that. General Babangida had that because he had this ability to get people who were his critics, who were his enemies, and work with them. A lot of politicians in Nigeria don't have that. And when you have that culture whereby you're my enemy for life, it's a sign of a low culture. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu comes from a highly developed culture. That's why he's able to overlook what happened in the past and then, because of his goal, reconcile with his enemies and then use them. And that's something that you have to do in business, in your social life, in your political life if you want to be successful.
There you have it. You just heard from ex-presidential media aide Reno Omokri. First, let me say something about Reno. Whether you like it or not, Reno is an intelligent guy because if you watch the extended version of that video, the full version, Reno, before he placed his argument, he drew instances from the United States. He drew references from the Bible. He even used Paul in the Bible to try to shape your mind, to justify what he wants to present to you in such a way that at the end of the day, if he presents it, if you are not somebody of equal or superior knowledge, you are just going to take whatever he says as it is. And at the end of the day, Reno will eventually have his way. And what is his way in this case? Is to shape Bola Ahmed Tinubu before you as the right candidate for the 2027 presidential election. He is selling to you that out of the over 200 million Nigerians, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the person that can take Nigeria from where it is to where it ought to be from now till 2031. You see, what Reno is doing is called political marketing. He's trying to market Bola Ahmed Tinubu to you, why you should like him, why you should vote for him, why you should support him. And I can tell you that political marketing is not an easy thing. And one of the people that can do that very well in Nigeria is Reno Omokri, and Tinubu already has him by his side. Other people are somebody like Daniel Bwala. Daniel Bwala is also good at that. Then Segun Shomi of the PDP is also good in that regard. But then let us break what Reno Omokri said. Let us break it down. You see, when they present these things to you, that's why you have me here as your favorite political scientist to give you the perspective that you ought to know. Not that we are going against what anybody is saying, But just for you to know what ordinarily you would not get to hear or know, and for me to bring you that wisdom that is necessary for you to take necessary political decision. You know, I tell you that on this platform, we don't hate anybody. You don't like well, we don't like anybody. I just acknowledge Reno as an intelligent guy, and believe me, when I tell you somebody is intelligent, trust me, Reno is an intelligent guy. Now, what is Reno saying? Reno is saying that Tinubu will win based on interpersonal relations. That Tinubu will win because he's able to win over his enemies to his side, and he usually forgives people when they offend him. And this is essential for him to win in 2027. You see, Reno is right, and at the same time, is wrong in the sense that Tinubu has no choice than to forgive those that has wronged him because from 1999 till now, he has always had that presidential ambition. And you would have heard it, perhaps, that politics is an all-inclusive sport. What that means is that you need the support of the mad, the crazy, the educated, the uneducated, male, female. You need the support of every living human being that has registered to vote. You need their support, even those that have not registered to vote. You will also need their support because they evolved from a family and they will have strong influence on their family member. So, if we look at it, Reno Omokri asserts that Tinubu will win just based on interpersonal relation. You see, interpersonal relation can be a strength of Tinubu, but in a democracy, it goes beyond interpersonal relation. When you are talking of interpersonal relation, largely with the ruling elite. See, there's a difference between interpersonal relation with the ordinary Nigerians, making life comfortable and convenient for them. Then there's also interpersonal relation with the ruling elite. And the ruling elite are about 1%, or if not less than 1% of the population. Nigeria's population is over 200 million, but let's just leave it at 200 million. If you do your arithmetic and you get the 1% of Nigeria's population, you will see that the ruling elites in Nigeria, are they even up to that 1%? Are they really up to? I doubt if they are up to that. So you would see that winning an election based on interpersonal relation with the ruling elite, who are just 1% of the population, is two things. One, majoring in the minor, because the people that you are supposed to focus on are the populace, which makes the 99% that is remaining. But if you are focusing on the 1%, that means that you are saying that that 1% are more powerful, or their vote have more power than the 99%, or they have influence over all the 99%. And that can only happen in a flawed democracy. Because ordinarily, if we are practicing true democracy, that election truly count, you are supposed to be focusing on the 99%, because it is those 99% that is remaining that will determine whether you will be president, whether you will be president in 2027 or not. Democracy is a game of numbers, and numbers truly matter in a democracy. So if you now say that, oh, 1%, it is important. The second aspect of it is that you are majoring in the minor, in the aspect that performance is what truly matter. And who are you, the candidate, and what is your relationship with the people, in the sense that your performance, your personality should be what will earn you vote. And if you look at these things, Bola Ahmed Tinubu may not really score A in terms of performance. So if you are not majoring in what will shape the mind of people, which is the performance of the president, but you are now majoring and choose to market Tinubu based on his interpersonal relation with the ruling elite, then it shows that what you are only doing is political marketing, political shaping. You are trying to convince people to kind of like shape their minds as to why they should follow Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But now let us look at this. Is Bola Ahmed Tinubu truly good at interpersonal relation with the ruling elite? That's another thing we need to look at. And I'll give you three instances. Number one is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, while he was the national leader of APC, denied former Governor Ambode re-election. For him to deny him, we can safely assert that they are not in the best of terms at that point in time. Apart from when Tinubu wanted to contest the heat of the election, that they organized something in, I think, Lagos, that the past governors were present, and perhaps maybe they dragged Ambode there or they just convinced him to attend. Have you seen Tinubu engage Ambode in any way? Ambode, when he was in Lagos, what made him to fail to get his re-election is he's not good at interpersonal relationship with the ruling elite. And he's a performer. But then he's not good at interpersonal relation. Why has Tinubu not bring Ambode forward? In fact, Ambode is more qualified, more intelligent, more tested and trusted in public office than some of the people in Tinubu's cabinet, than some of the people that Tinubu has appointed. Why has Tinubu not brought Ambode forward if he's truly good at interpersonal relation? Another example is Kofoworola Bokno Akerele. Kofoworola Bokno Akerele was a deputy governor to Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he was the governor of Lagos State. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu allegedly influenced the removal of Kofoworola Bokno Akerele by the State House of Assembly. Since then, have you seen any interaction or anything between Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kofoworola Bokno Akerele? Third example is the recent one, which is that of Rauf Aregbesola. Rauf Aregbesola is the political godson of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, should I say, single-handedly made Aregbesola who he is today in terms of politics. But then they had this issue between them. Aregbesola made some bad remarks about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And since then, have you seen any connection between Aregbesola and Tinubu? That is to show you that Reno Omokri, is correct to the extent of his incorrectness. Because I've just given you three examples now. So for you to now say that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will win based on interpersonal relationship with the ruling elite, I think it is not the right thing, because it portrays Nigeria as a flawed democracy. People should be powerful, but elites are, because people are docile, people are passive, people are disoriented. That means that you need to be more politically active and be politically cautious, because if you leave, your political life and shaping to what you hear from some of these politically interested persons, definitely you may not hear the best. At the end of the day, you may hear what will shape your mind, rightly or wrongly. So it's a game of maybe you can get it right or you can get it wrong, depending on which of the divide you decide to follow. What I can say is, may the best man win the 2027 presidential election, and I wish Bola Ahmed Tinubu the best. And Reno Omokri, whatever he is trying to achieve, because he was the former presidential something to Atiku Abubakar, but now he seems to be on the side of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he has been crusading Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Whatever he aims to achieve with that, I wish him the best of luck. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode of Politing with Dr. Omoshola Deji. Dr. Deji is a political scientist with a PhD in political science, and this is where we relax to talk about politics and happenings in the politics. Do you want to subscribe? Turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos, and of course, I have great, interesting videos coming your way. Till I see you again, always remember that I love you all sincerely.